Hi, I'm David Davis from ActualTech Media, and I'm excited to be hosting another Spotlight Series interview. On today's episode, I'm glad to welcome Keith Ibarguen, Chief Product Officer at Cofense. Keith, thanks for being on the event today.
It's great to be here. Really happy to be here. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, yeah. So I was looking at the Cofense website before our chat here, and I learned that 90% of security breaches start with an email phish, something I found quite impressive and scary, if you will. So why is it that companies have so much trouble stopping these phishing attempts?
It's a combination of things, and you're right. It is a tremendously challenging thing. You hear of all of these attacks that are coming in, whether they're ransomware or business email compromise or credential phishing attacks. They do oftentimes start as a phish, and the reason that it's so difficult for people to, or technologies in and of themselves, to be able to stop this is the tradecraft is evolving all the time. And so, Cofense is a cybersecurity company that is geared specifically around stopping email attacks. That is why we're there. And we use a combination of technical solutions along with human beings to be able to deal with this ever-evolving tradecraft that adversaries take up against enterprises. And we use people and technology together to stay ahead of this phishing threat, which, as we all know, is nasty and it's ever-evolving.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, ransomware is just plaguing companies out there, large and small. And I know the security markets is kind of a crowded space, and there's quite a few tools out there that I'm sure say they stop or help stop phishing. But what really makes Cofense unique in the market?
It's really the way we use our data. Cofense got started. Maybe I can tell a little bit of a story about how Cofense sort of came to be, and that may set the stage nicely for you. Cofense started around 2011. And it was Rohit Balani and Aaron Higby that started the company, and they're really they were pioneers in this space. They were doing pen testing work back in 2011 and before that, and they realized that by training folks to be able to recognize attacks as they were happening, they would be better positioned to be able to not click on those attacks or not fall for them. So they used that knowledge to create what we know today is actually an entire industry, the phishing simulation industry. And it was the first product that Cofense, at the time it was called PhishMe, came out with. It was a phishing simulation solution. What that turned into was they had a whole bunch of people that were trained up. They knew how to recognize emails that were bad, malicious emails. And they realized, geez, we don't have any way of reporting that to a security operations center. So they created a tool called Reporter to be able to do that and make that very easy. The success of that is kind of funny because, when you're successful at people reporting email, now all of a sudden the SOCs are going, oh my God, my abuse box is being filled up with these reported emails. And so it became very clear very quickly that not only was the training successful and the ability to report successful, but in order to actually mitigate and know what you have to do from that point, you have to understand the attack itself. So we created a product called Triage, which allows you to look at the email, take it apart into its constituent pieces, and analyze it to determine if it's bad. If you know it's bad, then you want to do something about it, and that moved into the product that we call Vision, which it's basically a cache of email that has very rapid searching, quarantining, deleting capabilities. So if you detect something bad in Triage, you can then ask Vision, hey, who else received this email, even though they may not have reported it? Who else received this email? And if there's a bunch of folks there, or even if there's one, you can quarantine it or remove it completely from the ecosystem. So what differentiates us? the ability for us to close that loop, to make the detection to removal as tight as possible, is where Cofense really sets itself apart. We leverage this idea of crowdsourced data to be able to then send that data, that intelligence information, out into the ecosystem and use it to proactively stop attacks. In fact, it's very interesting. We have a capability called auto quarantine that is consuming indicators and consuming signatures, if you will, of an attack. And those signatures are constantly being updated by the intelligence that we receive. And so auto quarantine takes those indicators of compromise, and when they recognize a match, depending on the configuration of auto quarantine, they can automatically quarantine. So your enterprise can be protected by emerging threat intelligence without anybody even reporting it inside your ecosystem. So it's crowdsourced threat intelligence used to stop that attack. And we feel that we've got an incredibly compelling capability that works very, very well, actually. So
absolutely. Yeah, I love this idea of crowdsourcing and automation and kind of artificial intelligence to learn about these threats, because I mean, obviously we have to do a lot more than just telling our end users, hey, don't click on bad stuff.
Yeah.
Right? We need to use smart software to make that decision for them.
Right, exactly. And you mentioned some artificial intelligence. We actually just recently purchased a company, and the product that they brought to the table for us is called Protect, and it uses computer vision to detect inbound threats. It actually leverages that intelligence significantly to train the algorithms that learn how to detect badness. And so it's this sort of virtuous cycle of detection and reporting, training, and learning that works so well, especially when you have millions of people reporting threat intelligence information.
Very cool. So, I mean, at a high level, kind of what's the basic architecture of the Cofense solution? How does this work?
So it's different for each product. It's not like a one blob of capability. So we use one type of technology. A lot of it is in the cloud. You can do some on-prem. Depends on how you want to fly the capabilities. But our phishing simulation capability is a cloud service that you use to actually send in the simulations. That service is actually also powered by our intelligence. We know what to simulate based on the knowledge that we glean from that information that's getting constantly reported to us. Triage and Vision can be deployed in a number of different ways, either on-prem or in the cloud. They can be hosted or not. It all depends on how you want to deploy them. Our Protect offering is a fully cloud-based, cloud-first solution that's deployable literally in a few seconds. So you can get up and running very, very quickly with the capability.
Excellent. So, I mean, this sounds like a solution that could help so many companies out there to really prevent these types of security breaches we hear about, prevent ransomware and the data exfiltration that's happening, all the bad stuff that comes along with these breaches.
Yeah.
How should people get started?
Well, I think the first thing you'd want to do is go to cofense.com, right? Cofense.com is our homepage. We've got the solutions are obviously available. They've got the standard product pull downs, and you can take a look at each one of them. But there's also a solutions section that you can pivot into based on the role or the types of information you're looking for. So I think the first thing to do is to take a look at the cofense.com website and explore that. There's contact information there on how to get a demo and engage with the team. We typically deal with very large enterprise customers. That's our sweet spot is large enterprise organizations. However, the Protect capability, for instance, is really around small and mid-sized businesses, but it'll scale, but that's its sweet spot. So we cover the gamut of a very wide range of companies. So I wouldn't want to limit the the folks coming to the website. I would encourage everyone to go to the website, engage with a demo, see what we have for capabilities, and if you have any questions, by all means, reach out to the organization. And in many cases, I'm on the other end of the phone talking to folks. We really do try to be very proactive in our engagements with our customers. It's a good relationship. We want to be a partner in the fight against this threat.
Absolutely. Yeah, we need to do everything we can. This has been a great chat. I enjoyed learning about Cofense. Keith, thank you so much for joining us.
David, it's really been a pleasure. I really appreciate your time and your listeners' time. And thank you again for having me.
And for everyone out there in the audience, if you enjoyed this Spotlight series, check out others that we have on our YouTube page.